Hi, welcome to Vlogmas Day 5. Today we're going to be talking about my 10 before the end. Some of it is a little bit cheating and a little more housekeeping instead of reading from page 1, but it's fine because I make the rules and I do what I want here. But I have all 10 picked out. I originally did not when I filmed this the first time, but I have all 10 picked out. I'm going to read you the synopses, and that's it. Quick little video. Not really, because some of these synopses are like a novel. So we're going to start with the cheaters. So my first and biggest cheater is Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford, because I said in yesterday's vlog I was going to finish it. I did not, because I was busy editing and uploading and filming and stuff. So anyway, for those of you who don't know, Rewind It Back is the 5th and final book in the Windy City series by Liz Tomford. And it's about Hallie and Rio, and they are, I'm just going to read this to you so I don't spoil anything that's not on the back of the book. Hallie: when I was 11, my family moved next door to his. When I was 13, he was my first crush. When I was 16, we fell for each other. And when I was 19, we broke each other's hearts. 6 years later, I've landed an internship with a big name interior designer in a new city. Unfortunately, that city just so happens to be the one he plays hockey for. I thought Chicago was big enough to avoid him until I get the surprise of a lifetime and unknowingly move in right next door. Even worse, the renovation project I'm assigned to in hopes of turning that internship into my full-time dream job, it's his house. But how am I supposed to update his bachelor pad into a family home when we can't stand to be in the same room? I may have loved Rio DeLuca once, but I'm not the same girl anymore. Rio. I never thought I'd be the only single one left in my friend group. But after years of trying to find love, I've concluded it may not exist for me anymore. That is, until I accidentally hire Hallie Hart to renovate my house, and our jaded history has me rewinding memories I've kept secret for years. You see, there's something that my friends don't know. That connection I've been looking for since I moved to Chicago, that one person some search their entire lives to find, I had already found her when I was 12 years old. And now, the only girl I've ever loved is moving into the house next door. Again. I love this book, and it's so precious and near and dear to my heart. I love a second chance romance, but my issue is that I'm reading it with my eyeballs, and I started reading it with my eyes. I read the first 50%, flew through it, and then I just put it down. And I don't want to finish listening to the rest of it because I so heavily highlighted and annotated the first half that I want to continue the same density, like the same amount of annotations in the second half. So I feel like I have to read it with my eyes because I don't annotate as much when I'm listening as I do when I'm reading with my eyes. So that's our biggest cheat, because I only have like 19% left in that book. Our next, okay, the second one is our only other cheat. Okay, Wild Side by Elsie Silver. I'm not sure how far into this I am. I want to say around 30%. I think. Don't quote me because I didn't mark it on my Goodreads. But this is the 3rd book in the Rose Hill series by Elsie Silver, and the synopsis is: I'd always dreamed of my wedding day, but not like this, not looking into the eyes of the man who betrayed me. But when my nephew's guardianship is contested, I decide I'll do whatever it takes to keep him in Rose Hill, even if it means marrying the enemy. Reese Dupree, which I always read as Reese Dupree's. And I hee-hee-ha-ha to myself. A man who is secretive, broody, and completely infuriating. A man whose work takes him away for weeks on end and brings him back covered in mysterious bruises, ones he won't talk about. In fact, we barely talk at all. Which would be fine, except when he's not talking, he's staring, and the way he looks at me is borderline indecent. The tension between us has always been palpable. But living under the same roof is a dangerous temptation. I swore I would never forgive him, but that was before I knew the man behind the mask. The one who's fierce and protective, the one who's gentle and patient, the one who shows up for us when we need him most. He's not at all who I thought he was. And that makes hating my husband so much harder, and loving him just a little too easy. It sounds so good. They're not even married where I'm up to, so I can't be very far. But I did start it, so that's why I'm considering it a cheat. Kayla's also been begging me to read it, so I think I owe her that. That could be her dedication. And also, here she is worming her way into my video again. Next we have I Wish I Knew Then by Jessica Peterson. This book, I literally saw the cover and I was like, sure, I'll read it before the end of the year. So I don't know what it's about. We're about to find out together. My grandmother has a saying, what's done in the dark always comes to light, especially in small towns with big secrets. I'm already on board. And I was hiding the biggest secret of them all. Every summer I spent growing up at my grandparents' coastal estate was the same. Same cousins, same chaos, same long golf cart rides along the beach. But everything changed the summer I turned 18 when my grandparents' new housekeeper moved in with her son Riley. With his big personality and head-turning looks, he was the local heartthrob. We fell in love instantly. Riley was my first everything, first love, first time, and my first heartbreak when he dumped me at the end of the summer. 10 years later, I'm back on the island for my best friend's wedding as her maid of honor. Who was the first person I literally stumble into? Riley Dixon. Even worse, he's the groom's best man and a self-made billionaire to boot. I don't really care for billionaire romances, I'm sorry. Being forced to spend an entire week together for wedding festivities quickly leads to more hot hate, sex, late nights of sneaking out, and unexpected revelations. The boy I knew a decade ago is gone, and the hate becomes something else entirely, and I begin to wonder if Riley is hiding some secrets of his own. I'm in. I'm sure it'll be great. Okay, this one, I think Larry was talking about this, but Please Don't Go by E. Salvador. I think she was saying that this is like a really emotional read and she wasn't in the mood for it, but I'm always in the mood to get my heart crushed and just mutilated. So, the synopsis for this one. He felt like he was drowning. She was about to drown. Josephine Resendez is struggling to figure out her life between her complicated relationship with grief and not having a single clue how to feel what she can't understand. She's sinking and isn't sure how to float back up to the surface. Danielle Garcia, shortstop, a budding ray of sunshine, and potential first-round pick for the MLB draft, has life figured out. At least that's what everyone assumes. On the surface, he's the embodiment of happiness in life, but beneath it all, guilt and grief have been consuming him since his brother passed away. Unsure how to deal with his feelings, he bottles them up and masks the pain of haunting reminders behind a mask of smiles. That's until he stumbles upon Josephine on Christmas Day. That wasn't supposed to happen. He wasn't supposed to be there, but neither was she. At least not for long. The night evolves into something neither one of them expected, and when morning comes, she's nowhere to be found. He can't stop thinking about her. She wants to forget him, but fate seems to have plans for them. Once the semester begins, they find out they have a class together, and avoiding Daniel becomes hard when they're paired to be hiking buddies. Much to Josephine's chagrin, she likes him more than she cares to admit, and Daniel is struggling to keep everything he's bottled up around her. Hesitantly and unknowingly, they're opening up old wounds they wanted to keep closed, feeling grounded around each other, and unintentionally falling in love. I love love. Okay. That one does sound kind of sad. I'm excited for it. Next we have Face Off, which is the first book in the DC Stars series by Chelsea Curto. I want to do a separate reading vlog on this series. Basically every complete series that I want to read, I want to do a reading vlog for. So going forward, there's going to be lots of reading vlogs. I hope. I can't get through them apparently. But this is the first one, and I've heard great things about this series, so I am really excited for it. But the synopsis is, Emmy Hartwell has waited for a spot on the NHL roster since she became a professional hockey player, and this season she'll finally get a chance to showcase her talents with the struggling DC Stars. Maverick Miller is the best player in the league, but he's never had a winning record. Team captain and desperate to turn things around, he agrees to play nice with the fiery new left winger even though they're total opposites. After a night where the tension between them reaches a tipping point and they fall in bed together, Emmy and Maverick vow it was only one time. Just wants to get it out of their system so they can play better and help their team. It doesn't mean anything. She doesn't date hockey players. He's a notorious playboy who doesn't date. Period. Except, what should have been just once happens again. Then again. They tell each other their friends with benefits arrangement is only for the season, but despite facing off on the ice behind closed doors, the pair is nothing but fire. All this yapping is making my throat dry. I'm a big hockey romance girl, I'm noticing. Anyway, moving on. Next is Only Ever You by Haley Warren. I think I saw some quotes from this or the cover on TikTok, and I immediately added it to my KU. And the synopsis is, which I also don't know what it is. He still loves her. She'd do anything to forget him. Once upon a time, Bogdan Novotny had it all. The kind of friends you'd only find in a movie, legs that made him one of the fastest skaters on the planet. Again with the skating. And a record-breaking collegiate hockey career that paved the way for what should have been an outstanding professional one. But most importantly, he had her. Sloane Joseph has more than enough worries to write a thesis on, and even though she spent her whole life studying other people, her brain's still a puzzle she's really not sure how to solve. But the one thing she'd always be sure of was him, until a split second changed everything, and now Bowden does his best to avoid his old dreams and the picture of Sloane still burning a hole in his pocket. I love that trope. While she tries to convince herself the solution to missing Bowden is moving to a new country. The only real ties left between them are fading tattoos and the best friends they still share. When those same friends invite them on a week-long Mediterranean cruise, the last thing they're expecting is each other. To survive the week, they strike a deal and pretend to be nothing more than strangers. But for two people who were once everything to each other, pretending to be nothing isn't as easy as it seems. This sounds so good. That might have to be like bumped up to the top. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay. Next we have another holiday book, because holiday books have not been working for me lately. Kayla and I read The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year on Wednesday, and neither of us really liked it. So, and I read another holiday romance a couple days before, and I didn't really like that one either. I gave The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year was a 3-star, and the other one was a 3.25. So hopefully Hannah Grace pulls through with Holiday Ever After. Clara Davenport wants to solve Fraser Fall's biggest problem. According to Jack Kelly, Clara is Fraser Fall's biggest problem. All Clara Davenport has ever wanted to do is climb the ladder at Davenport Innovation Creative, her family's toy business. Everything was going according to plan until the company was accused of stealing a doll design from an independent toy maker, creating a flurry of bad publicity. With a promotion dangled in front of her like a carrot to a reindeer, Clara is tasked with charming the locals of the small town to solve the PR nightmare by any means necessary. Jack Kelly would be happy to never hear the name Davenport ever again. Less than a year after a guy in a fancy suit appeared on his doorstep with a sleigh full of promises, the company that once falsely claimed that they wanted to sign him to their small business program had copied his design. So when Clara prances into town hoping to convince Fraser Falls that her company is not the enemy, Jack is determined not to be fooled by Davenport twice. But Clara has a plan to win over the community, only to realize that beneath Jack's frosty demeanor lies the key to the town's heart, and maybe her own. Aww. Okay, three more. This one does not fit. Which one is not like the others? This one. When She Returned by Lucinda Berry. I have been on a little bit of a Lucinda Berry kick. I read Saving Noah in 2023, and then I read The Perfect Child, A Welcome Reunion, and One of Our Own. I think that's the title. Last month, in November. I really like her books. They are gripping for me. But anyway, this one. One woman's reappearance throws her family into turmoil, exposing dark secrets and the hidden, often devastating truth of family relationships. Kate Bennett vanished from a parking lot 11 years ago, leaving behind her husband and young daughter. When she shows up at a Montana gas station clutching an infant and screaming for help, investigators believe she may have been abducted by a cult. Kate's return flips her family's world upside down. Her husband is remarried and her daughter barely remembers her. Kate herself doesn't look or act like she did before. While the family tries to help Kate reintegrate into society, they discover truths they've been hiding from each other about their own relationships, but they aren't the only ones with secrets. As the family unravels what happened to Kate, a series of shocking revelations shows that Kate's return is more sinister than any of them could have imagined. Sign me up. Kate's probably crazy. I hope. I can't wait. Lucinda Berry just gets in there, you know? If you haven't read any of her books, I highly recommend. Saving Noah was a wild way to start with her books, but I'm not complaining. Next we have Merry Little Christmas by Lauren Blakely. I should have known better than to make a Christmas bet with my brother's best friend. 6'3", grumpy and allergic to mistletoe and feelings. My job sounded simple. Find a holiday for this sexy single dad hockey star. God, they're all hockey stars. Before the team's Christmas Eve gala. But Rowan's sworn off romance forever, so when he bets I can't find him a +1, I up the stakes, I thought it said skates, and volunteer as tribute. I'll fake date the hockey hater just to prove him wrong. Cue the mistletoe sabotage and Secret Santa's subterfuge. I love that word. Hate how it's spelled. It looks funky, But soon our practice dates at Christmas tree farms and hot cocoa competitions feel a little too real, especially when he starts planning secret trysts in our snowy small town, where I discover exactly how fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. And when I get to know his book-loving daughter and they invite me into their life, what began as a holiday bet is turning into a Christmas I'll never forget. What if the only gift I want the grump to unwrap this season is me? This sounds so cute. I hope the kid's not annoying, because the kid is annoying me. I can't even say it's her. I don't like Anybody in Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck. I'm sorry. I might have to DNF it. TDNF it, whatever. And last but not least is Show Me How by Hannah Cohen. I also saw a snippet of this on TikTok and I was like, what is going on? But there's context. It's fine. I haven't read it, but I got the context. I ran from the altar in a pair of heels and a white dress, chasing freedom instead of a future I never wanted. Oak Point wasn't supposed to be anything more than a place to rest for a little while. With no money, not a clue what I'm doing, and a desperate need to finally feel something, I meet him. Shade is the worst kind of temptation. Beautiful in the way all dangerous things are. With inked skin and eyes that see too much, he's the last man I should be asking to help me. Yet, I do, and somehow he agrees. He teaches me how to touch and be touched, how to want, how to take, how to stop running and finally choose myself. But the more he teaches me to live, the more I want things I probably shouldn't, like a man who swore he'd never belong to anyone, especially me. That was Millie. Sorry, I never said Millie. Shade. I like the name Shade. She walked into the bar looking like a storm had swallowed her whole. Sold. Soaked, dazed, and still wearing the dress she should have gotten married in. She looks like every bad decision I've ever wanted to make. It would have been smart to turn her down and let her pass through town like she was supposed to. I'm not the type of guy to tangle myself up in someone else's mess, but I just couldn't help myself. Millie's got fire in her and a talent she's never let breathe. She has no idea how special she is. I see it in everything she does. The way she draws, the way she touches, the way she softens me without even trying. I was never meant to keep her, but she sees part of me no one ever has, and maybe that means she's meant to stay. It just sounds sweet. I'm sorry, my eye is stinging and my nose is a little stuffy. I'm falling apart. So I'm gonna end this video. Anyway, those are my 10 before the end that I'm hoping to get through. Is 10 a little optimistic for 26, 25 days? Because we're just gonna say today is over. For 25 days? Probably. But we're gonna do it anyway. I never stick to my TBRs. This isn't really likely, but it was fun. I'm gonna try to stick to it. I'll see how much I can actually finish and get through. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching Vlogmas Day 5, and I will see you again tomorrow.